Alrighty, guys, I'm going to cover one of the most enjoyable fitness experiences I've had in many years. So, guys, I recently moved to Goldie's, and when I went up there, I didn't have a gym or anything like that. So I actually joined a local gym, which was an absolutely incredible experience. I was like, hey, go in there, get my personal training or my fitness sorted. And I want to cover 7 things that this business did incredibly well. There's a lot of reminders, but I'm thinking of doing a little series for you guys where I go into gyms for a couple of weeks and tell you what they're doing well. If that ever interests you guys, let me know. Just send me a private message if you got a bit of value from this. Now, I'm not going to say what the business name is called. I'm going to keep all that kind of stuff private. I'm just going to cover the things that they did really well. So, guys, there is 7 things that they did incredibly well. It was the sales process. It was their trainers. It was setting short and long-term goals. It was a nutrition session, weekly accountability events, and an incredibly structured program. Now, guys, I hope you have all 7 of these. I know I had all 7 in my business, but one of the best ways you can learn in life is go out into other gyms, right? Go into the best gyms in your city or the best gyms in your country. Remember me and my friend Dan Henderson went over to the United States for 6 weeks. He was presenting over there, and me being a big fan of Dan, I kind of jumped along to come to a couple of seminars, and we went to, I think, 14 gyms, and I learned more from those 14 gyms that I'd learned from any other fitness business coaching program, like literally ever. So I highly recommend doing it. And if you guys want me to do more stuff like this, make sure you send me a message on Instagram, Jimmy_Pomponi, and go, hey, I got value from this. But let's dive into the good stuff. So, guys, their sales process was elite. It was a 45-minute sit-down session, did body scans, talked about short, long-term goals, covered my nutrition, my training, where I wanted to be, injuries, everything like that. It was absolutely an elite process. Now, what I also loved in this gym is obviously, guys, I was only there for a month, right? So I couldn't sign up for a 12-month or a 6-month contract, but they only gave me 2 options. There was a 6-month or a 12-month, and it was all based off my goals, right? When they mapped it out, they're like, Jimmy, here's who you want to be, here's why, right? And 100% in that gym, right, they had me on the hook where I would have signed up for 12 months because that process was so good. Just sadly, because I was only in Goldie for a month, that wasn't really a possibility, right, for me to, actually sign up for 12 months at that stage, right? But you want to make sure you have a mapped out sales process. There was a really nice consultation room. It was quiet. They used a computer. They had some really nice questionnaires. They actually did a questionnaire on my disc profiling as well, which was really, really cool. So they learned how to coach me and things like this. This is an elite level personal training business, by the way. Now, one of the things that I was a bit nervous about. Now, guys, I'm a naturally introverted person, right? And I was up in Goldie. I'd been there for 3 days, and I was going to this new gym, right? And I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know if the trainers knew me or anything like that, right? When I went in there, a guy walked up to me and was like, "Hey, Jimmy, it's so nice to meet you. Welcome." Right? Every staff member, I don't know how they did it, but every staff member, right, knew my name on literally the time that I attended, right? So they must have had a chat as team go, "Hey, we got a new consult. His name's Jimmy," and everyone was so friendly and so welcoming, right? And that goes a really long way, because when I remember I was walking up the stairs to the gym and I was like, "Fuck, have I got the right place?" Like, look at the signs, I'm like, okay, smooth. Walked in, and just everyone from the first point of contact was incredibly friendly, so lovely, and so welcoming. And guys, you cannot bypass how fucking important that is, because they made me feel like a part of their family. Like, straight away, I was like, these guys are all friendly. But guys, remember, we want to do business and we want to work with people we like, right? No matter how good someone's product is, if you think they're like a dickhead, it's going to be really hard for you to pay the money really consistently. So the overall friendliness of staff, and I went in there probably 12 to 15 times over the month, right? Not once did someone call me legend, champion, anything, always by name, right? They were absolutely phenomenal, the staffing within that business, right? You want to make sure that first meeting, that first 15 seconds, someone walked up to me, shook my hand, gave me a bottle of water, sat me down, gave me a questionnaire, was super friendly, right? It was absolutely incredible. And you need to have that in your facility as well. And guys, one of the really good things they did, because obviously they were pitching 6 and 12-month programs, right, is they were really, really elite at setting short-term and long-term goals. So we set a monthly goal, then we set a 6-month goal, and then a 12-month goal. And that's how really professional their sales process was, where they mapped out everything. Well, Jimmy, where do you want to be in a month? Where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in 12? They knew all my previous training like experience and things like that. And guys, it's such a better experience compared to some of the gyms I go to, and I just go in and just train. And it's like, hey, go nuts. Like, go and, do 50 burpees and, a crazy high intensity session. Is I felt like they truly cared about me. And that's how, and I'll say this openly, they would have signed me up for 12 months if I had the option to, right? So you've got to set short and long-term goals. What can we achieve in a month? What can we achieve in 6? And what can we achieve with 12 through consistency and discipline? Now, I also really like, and let me know, guys, you can send me a message on Instagram or comment below. Who's ever had someone start a program, and you know that nutrition's the most important thing, right? We all know that you've got 3 phases of getting a result. You've got the training component, you've got the nutrition and accountability, right? I'm not saying one's more important than others, but nutrition's a pretty important part if anyone wants to lose weight, get fitter, get stronger. Right. And the way that this business ran through everything in such high detail is my second session was actually a nutrition session. They showed me the app, how to track my calories, how many macros I needed, everything like that. It was a 30-minute sit down where we just ran through everything and really set me up for success. They had some really neat questionnaires as well that I filled out before those sessions, just so they knew the level of my intent, my consistency. They knew about my alcohol habits, my eating habits, my emotional eating habits. What types of foods I eat, how many meals per day. This was like elite level stuff. And I actually learned a lot because we weren't doing this in my clubs to anywhere near this level, right? But that nutrition component, can you sit down with someone and explain how they need to eat, what their journey will look like, how they reach out to you, how they fill out everything on the app? Because guys, remember in the first 7 to 14 days, every decision I was making was in that first 7 to 14 days about this business. Did I think they were good? Did I think they were shit? Were they helpful? Were they not helpful? Am I lost? Am I confused? And for me to go through this process of going, hey, what exactly do you want me to eat? And they're like, cool, we're going to actually sit down on Friday. I'm going to tell you exactly how many calories, macros, and everything like that. And I'm sure, guys, it was a little bit easier for them with me because I've done this stuff for many years. Like I kind of, know calories and macros. But for a new member, I was like, this is even more important. And it's absolutely incredible, that nutrition component. There's a couple of ways you can do it. They did it one-on-one, right? In our clubs, we did monthly nutrition seminars. And then in time, we had a webinar that covered our nutrition philosophies as well. So if you're getting any good ideas off this, guys, you don't have to do it the same way they did. You can think outside the box and go, what are some other ways we can deliver it that's more scalable for your business? Now, also, guys, their accountability is absolutely world-class, right? I got messages before my session. I got check-ins. They were tracking, actually watching and looking over my food diary. They were tracking how much exercise I did. They wrote me literally, I'm going to talk about the programming, everything I had to do outside, every rep, every set. That was all done within the first week, right? So they told me how many minutes of cardio, what levels of intensity for each cardio. But everything was just absolutely amazing. And I really liked and enjoyed the accountability side. Someone actually checking my food diary, right? They were having a look over it. It was just absolutely incredible. And you've got to make sure you have that accountability component. I talked about the 3 prongs, fitness, nutrition, accountability, right? And their accountability was absolutely world-class, where, I have date night every Friday. Be super honest, I used to eat whatever the fuck I wanted on date night, right? We would, have a couple of cocktails, I'd eat whatever. Now I'm in a position, guys, openly and honestly, where I really need to lose 5 kilos to get where I want to be, right? So, the trainer would message me on a Friday and be like, hey, Jimmy, I hope you're really excited for date night with Jess. Really make sure that you eat well. And we covered that within the first couple of weeks. It was honestly fucking absolutely incredible, to a stage where I felt bad if I'm now not drinking any alcohol again and make sure I'm eating well, because I just feel bad because the trainer's checking in and I don't want to let them down, right? It was amazing. Now, there's 2 other things that were really important. And guys, if you're watching this video or listening to the podcast, I just want you to implement 1 to 2 of these, because you might not be able to build everything out in its entirety. Now, the next one was events. Okay, they ran a really neat in-house seminar. I actually couldn't make it, and then they made a video on it, which was great. Those in-house seminars, don't neglect them, guys, where you can get 5, 10, 15 people together and you can really transform their mind through the education and show that level of authority. They also ran a really cool event on a shopping tour, teaching people how to shop, cruise around the shops. Again, I couldn't attend that one, but it was just really, really cool that it was there. And obviously I was there on holiday, so on weekends I had stuff to do. But that shopping tour, I'm sure, was absolutely epic. And they also got me locked in for a half marathon, which I'm doing in like 2.5 weeks. I've never ran 21Ks. The owner and operator of this business is such a passionate fella. Like, he is just an absolute fucking legend that he knew I was into running. And he's like, why don't we do a half? And then we're talking about doing a marathon in November. And then we're talking about doing 50Ks over in WA in Jan, right? And those events, right, got me locked in to now when I go back to Goldie, because I'm going back in like 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm going back and I'm going to do another session with them. And then I'm doing the half marathon with their whole crew and things like that, right? So what type of events can you add in, right, to your business to keep people engaged? You've got like education, you've got training, you've got community, right? And they also have a wine event on the 17th of July that wherever I am in Australia, I'm going to fucking fly back to there and go out to the wine night because I gave them my word I would. Right. And they really lock me into events, and it's like a little family in there. I was telling Jess, my wife, is one of the things that we found hard at Code 5 when we went from like 130 members to 500 is it didn't feel like a family anymore because there were so many people coming through. It's a kind of like a mid-range gym, right? And it truly felt like a family's gym. I felt like loved and cared and, respected in that business. And the events, they got me locked in, a range of events, education, one on performance with the running events, and then one just on fun, like just having some wines together, right? So I don't know how I've put that in my food diary on that day, but I guess you don't worry about that, right? And guys, the last one is a structured program. Now, I've been to hundreds of gyms. I've owned gyms. Their level of just telling me what the fuck to do, when to do it was elite, right? They told me what strength sessions to do, what days. They mapped out my cardio. Jimmy, what cardio you're doing now, what intensity it is. It's all in an app. You tick it off. It had how many minutes of exercise you had to do per week, how many minutes of strength training you had to do per week. It was incredible, right? It wasn't to a stage where, because they believe in their system so much, they advised and they were the experts, not me being like, oh, I want to do 5 strength sessions, this and this and this, right? But not going, oh, how many sessions do you want to do, Jimmy? It's like, no, for you to hit these goals, you need to do this many strength sessions per week. You need to do this much cardiovascular exercise. You need to eat this many calories, where they became the experts within 7 days of me training in that facility. So guys, overall, I had an absolutely amazing experience. And you guys know me, I like to keep everything positive. I'm not going to say when I do these reviews anything negative about the business. I'll always pass that on privately to the business owner. But I can say this openly and honestly, I didn't have any downsides within this business. There is not anything, bathrooms, cleaning, anything like that I could pick holes through. So it's just absolutely fucking incredible for me as a business coach to see people out there working at this elite level and having such amazing businesses. So guys, I hope you got a little bit of value from that. I'm going to recap the 7 things very quickly. High level sales process, selling 24 weeks, 52 weeks in a sit down environment, was nice and casual and relaxed, was absolutely incredible. Friendly trainers who knew my name as I walked into the door, right? Every trainer knew my name. It was crazy. Everyone only used my name at all stages within that business. They set my short and long-term goals, 28 days, 6 months, 12 months, all mapped out, okay? They had a nutrition session. They showed me exactly how many calories to eat, exactly how many macros, how to fill out my food diary. They had questionnaires around my nutrition about areas I can improve and what I need to focus on. They also knew a lot about my eating habits because they actually asked in a questionnaire, right? Weekly accountability, like they actually checked in on my food diary. They actually checked in on my training, right? They checked in with me to make sure I was following through with what I said, right? It was absolutely incredible. They had events, they had educational events, they had performance events, and they also have socializing community events. And then the structured program was of an elite level. Exactly how many minutes of cardio, exactly how many minutes of strength, what that all looks like, right? All mapped out into an app. You just tick the box. Did you do it? Did you not? Did you make it up? How's that all look, right? And then they actually followed through and make sure you did it. So guys, I learned a lot from being in that business. I feel like I'm a better business coach for my clients. My only advice to you guys is, firstly, 1, if you like this video or podcast, make sure you take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram, Jimmy_Pomponio, and you'll win $1,000. There's one person winning. And the second thing you need to do, have a look over your system and process. Maybe go out and see a couple of gyms like I did, or re-listen to this video and just implement 1 to 2 things to make your business stronger, because I'm all about getting you guys leads, getting that initial sale, and then getting them signed up to a long-term program. And the way that this business did it was absolutely elite. And I know everyone who's listening or watching to this could take 1 or 2 things away to improve their business today.